flattered. I'm really excited to see who are we going to have in this club today. We have how many people?
Well, maybe someone else will come. Tanya, do you know if somebody else will come?
No, I'm not sure. I think everyone for today is here.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay, it's nice.
4 of us, right? There are 4 of us, right?
Yeah, 4 of us.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so Daniela, here am I, and here is Tanya. Tanya is our club administrator. And here is Yana. Yana also wants to practice English.
Okay.
So,
hi Tanya. Hi Yana.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so let's start.
That's a good idea. So, Tanya, Yana, Lyoka, did you read the material that I sent and watch those videos?
Frankly, I've watched 1.5.
Okay.
And I didn't read the articles. I didn't have time, and I'm a bad student. I'm sorry.
I watched the videos, and unfortunately, I couldn't manage to get through all the articles because they seemed to me too much difficult and contain a lot of terminology.
Okay.
Economic terminology, and I'm not good at it at all. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a bad student too. I read just first article, like cross the line, so very fastly, and I watched the video just now. Like I'm trying to get what I didn't do about Airbnb.
Okay. Okay. Well, it really, I mean, the topic that we have today is this sharing economy. So, Tanya, Yana, Lyoka, are you familiar? What is sharing economy? I think maybe that's the first question I should ask everyone. It doesn't matter if you watched, it doesn't matter if you read, just the term itself, sharing economy. What does it mean to you? Maybe Lyoka first.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not sure that I know the definition, exact definition of this how should I say the term? Yeah, right, term. Thank you. But to my mind is everything that every service that help people to share things or other services or anything else, just to rent something that you have or to rent something that you don't have. So.
Okay, Tanya, what is your initial sort of definition? What would your definition be of share economy or sharing economy?
So I think I would like to tell about Airbnb because I travel a lot and I use Airbnb mostly all the time. So, and you know, I knew that Airbnb was invented like sharing like rooms, yes, but I didn't know about how exactly it was invented. So the video was very interesting for me, and I think that it's a very good idea. It's the same story, I think, like about Uber or Lyft, as I know they use in United States. So it's a very good thing to earn some money and or not to spend a lot of money.
Okay. Okay. And Yana, what about you? What are your ideas and feelings, definition for this sharing economy? Hello?
Yana, are you there?
Maybe we lost Yana.
Oh,
I don't know.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to switch on the mic. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'll start again. So the best thing about sharing economy is, in my opinion, it's changes people's consumption behaviors. What I mean is you consume and you pay for things which you really need, or it's better to say whenever you need. And thereafter you pay for it less, and again thereafter in turn you save money. So, and I like this chain, kind of chain. So when you're really concerned about your expenses, you don't want to pay extra money when you can pay less, right? So, and the main point is here is the important about this is the ownership is not a necessity. So it's not necessary to be bound to your possessions, to your belongings, things that you belong. And there are more important things. Well, it reminds me of a saying. Someone told that for happiness, you need to be happy. You need to travel. So it's more important than your possessions. And when traveling, you are looking for an apartment or flat. In that way, you interact with people, you explore the world, right? So it's more important than to possess something. It's better to exchange things. It's better to use it permanently from time to time when you really need. So this is the best thing for me in sharing economy. So, and it's a really good idea.
Okay, very good. So great definitions initially. I'm going to ask each one of you too, do you think that this sharing economy, your, again, initial feeling, is it a good thing or a bad thing? And another maybe question that wasn't on the list, but I think it's an interesting point to start off with, and maybe we'll get back to this at the end. Just think about it the whole time. Would you say that this is an example of socialism or capitalism? I think it's a very interesting question to add to the whole overall discussion. So do you think it's positive or negative? Do you think it's socialist in nature or capitalist in nature? Let's go again. We'll go Lyoka, Tanya, Yana. Is that okay? Lyoka?
Yeah, sure. That's nice. Well, before I saw the short video about is it really good or it isn't. I thought about sharing economy as a positive thing, and I thought that it's nice because we're living in, now in the time of потребление. How should I say?
Consumerism.
Yeah, consumerism, and it's a good idea not to buy new things for everyone, but to buy for several people or something one, yeah, right, that they can use together. And that's nice, I thought. But after I watched that video, though I didn't understand everything there, I understood something, but not even the half of it, because to my shame the vocabulary there was too difficult for me.
Okay.
And yes, so I thought that maybe it is not really so good, and it's just another kind of business. I haven't haven't made any conclusion yet.
Yeah, I think it's something to think about. Definitely think about. What about you, Tanya? What are your feelings about that? Positive, negative, socialist, capitalist? What do you think?
Wow, it's you know, it's really not easy to answer, because there are pros and cons in sharing economy. It depends on what side I think you are, because I don't know. For example, when I was in the United States and everyone uses use this Lyft, it's like Uber, yes. And what I saw there, that a lot of like nelegals,
Illegals, aliens, I think is
yeah, and people they earn money, they don't speak English, they just came to United States, and somehow they earn money, and I think it's good for them, yes, but maybe it's not for, I don't know, official taxi, yes, because a lot of people who worked in official taxi, they hate all this stuff like Uber, like Lyft, and also what I know about Airbnb now. We rented Airbnb in Miami, for example, and some guys said us that they like the government, some people trying to close Airbnb because they don't let earn money to hotels. So
okay. That's a very good point you make, but I'm gonna point out to you too, Tanya, that even the legal taxi drivers in the US are usually, you know, new immigrants and barely speak English. It's always been like that my whole life. I remember taxi drivers being from, I don't know, India or Pakistan or Armenia or anywhere, but it's not just the Lyft or Uber drivers, so it's kind of normal for taxis, I think.
Okay, maybe, but anyway, so but for me, I think it's for me it's good. Then more these services are in internet, in the world. I think it's easier to travel, to save money, to meet different people, and I think it's also a good idea about all this.
Okay, great. And what about you, Jana? What about your feelings on this?
Well, if you mentioned socialism and capitalism, it's more about socialism. Personally, I think that. This is the way you socialize with other people, you interact with them. Sharing economy reminds me of couch surfing, if you're familiar with that. I hope so. It's a platform, web platform, I would say, where you can find people. For example, you are going to travel to other country and you don't have a place to stay in, or you don't want to rent a hotel room. So you can find people on this website and drop a line them, like, I'm going to travel in your country. Then you're messaging to each other, you get to know each other closer, and then you can count on that they invite you to their flat or apartment. And even you can count on an excursion or seeing the city around, which that people can organize for you, which is really good. And you can see around the city, you can stay for free in their apartment.
Okay, yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, you're mentioning here couch surfing, and I mean, this is how I met my husband, on couch surfing of all places. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. I think it's a great idea.
And what I want to say, modern technology makes it easier for people to find each other, right? So it makes easier to connect with people, and it gives the opportunity to have the modern technology gives the opportunity to have access to things what you really need.
Yes, very good point. Very good point, Sienna. I think it's interesting, I mean, there are definitely aspects of this peer-to-peer sharing where you have maybe a very social approach and you get to meet new people, and it's for, good, it's just kind of out of the generosity of someone. But then, I mean, if you mentioned couch surfing, I think that's a great example. But now, I don't know, I live in Croatia, and here in Croatia, the couch surfing community is very, very weak. Why is it very, very weak? Because this is a tourist economy, tourism economy, and we have many, many, many apartments, many, many rooms, many hotels and what have you that are all available for rent. And what happens? People want to make money. So instead of putting your couch on couch surfing, people are of course going to put a room on Airbnb. And so to me, I mean, my observation of these services as they develop, or even this Uber or Lyft or whatever have you, it seems that the initial idea was very socialist and giving in nature, but it seems to have evolved into this capitalist business. There's always money to be made. And so that's why I think it's very interesting to see how this whole thing evolves. And I think we'll definitely see that in the years to come, because this is definitely something, that I think we're all using. So that gets me to my next question. We'll maybe go Yana, Tanya, Lyoka for this one. And that's, have you ever rented anything through one of these services? And have you ever rented out? So let's maybe start with Yana again.
Well, I used to rent out my flat many years ago. I don't do it now because since I had my daughter, I don't do this. I don't practice this anymore because it's quite difficult now when all my kids' stuff is scattered all over my flat. It's quite difficult to close it in one room. So I don't do it anymore. But before, yeah, when going on vacation, I should say that I live in Egypt most of the time. But in summertime, I go to Russia on vacation, like for 2 or 3 months. And before, I used to rent out my flat. And it was really good. First, you can spend this money on your vacation. It's not a lot of money, like let's say for 1 month it's $200, but anyway for 2 months it's 400, for 3 months it's 600, and you can spend this money on part of your vacation or whatever, which is really good. That's it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So I used to rent, but don't do it now.
Okay.
I like this idea. Mm-hmm.
All right. How about you, Tanya?
No, I never rented out anything because I never have anything. So because all my life I have to rent something, so I'm looking for a space to live in.
Okay.
And I don't know. There are different stories about looking for a room or flat for renting for a long term or for a short term, for like a tourist, so like a local. So there are different stories. No. For example, but just now I'm going in months. In 1 month, I'm leaving Moscow for 2 months, and so we could tell that we are going to rent out our flat for our friends, but for like twice cheaper price, and it is good for us because we don't have to pay all sum of money for the rent. So, and good for them because it will not be so expensive for them, something like that. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay, Lyoka?
Well, my brother and I got a flat and we rented. That's what happened. But while I traveled, I looked for apartments for myself, so I rented there, and I rented a lot. So I rented different flats, apartments in Egypt, different houses and rooms and apartments in Crimea. I rented them in Moscow too, and I rented not only flats. Now, for example, in winter, I sold my car and I opened for myself the opportunities of car sharing, for example. And so I rent cars.
How does that work? How do you rent cars? I'm curious. I'm very curious about this whole car sharing. How does that work?
That's a great deal, I think, because you just download an app to your smartphone and you sign the paper through your smartphone. You send them your documents through the smartphone, everything that they need. So it takes about a day to confirm everything, and you got an access to cars. So you look for the nearest car to your place where you are situated at the moment, and you book it, and you have 20 minutes to reach it for free. Then if it takes you longer, then you pay as in a waiting mode, something like 2 rubles and a half per minute. And then when you reach it, you check it, you mark in the app if it's all right, or it has something bad with the kuzov, I don't know how to say, or glasses.
The car itself, the body. I mean, you'd say the car.
Yeah. The car with the glasses, or if it is dirty inside, or if there is bad smell, something like that. So you mark it and you send this. You sign the contract online in your app, and that's it. The car is open. You open the car with the app with your smartphone. The key is inside, and you never take it out. And so you go and you pay like 8 rubles per minute while you are going. But if you need to park the car and go to some shop or something else, then you can turn it to waiting mode, and it's much cheaper. And then you can get back to the car, sit, take it, and go where you need. And what is very interesting, that you don't have to pay for the gas. You don't pay the gas. If the fuel is empty, you take the special card that is inside the car, and you pay with it on the gas station. So you don't spend money on that. You don't pay for parking, what is also very interesting. So you can take a car and you go to the center, and you can find their parking and just leave it there without any problem. That's really nice. So it helps sometimes. The only problem is that there are not so many cars in Moscow to find to be able to find one near your place every day. So, for example, now there is a car, but tomorrow maybe I won't find anything closer than, for example, 10 kilometers.
I see. That's very interesting. Who runs that? Is that something? It's a private app, or is it through the city, or who's in charge of this?
You know, there are not a lot of, but about 5 companies that provide such service. I use Delimobil. I don't know. I think it's not state stuff. I think it's like business, like someone made it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right. Well, that's a very good point there. So my next question is, what do you think? I mean, how has the internet maybe enhanced the use of these sharing services, people who are sharing? Do you think that you can trust what you see on the internet? And what can you do to be safe when you're deciding to share? Let's go. Tanya, Yana, Lyoka. What do you think? Tanya?
As I understood, how could we understand if it's safe to use that was the question.
Yeah, if it's safe, what can you do to be safe? And then just the internet in general. I mean, what do you think about how the internet has influenced the number of people that are using these sort of sharing services for each other, with each other?
That's why if I use something, I try to use like popular platforms, services, and the usual thing that you could read the reviews about people, about I don't know, everything, and I think just read and check. I don't know another way.
Yeah.
And anyway, I think that sometimes like in Russia we say "доверяй, но проверяй", so you have to trust, but to check.
Right.
You have to trust anyway.
True.
You never know.
True. Very true. Very true. How about you, Yana?
Well, personally, I think really internet helps people to meet and to find what you want, to find people, to make them meet together. And if you want to rent out your property or whatever, you can post about this, and other people can find you. So, but anyway, all this involves some risk for sure. And you never know if you rent an apartment somewhere in another country, you never know what to anticipate, yeah, what to expect, sorry. As for me, I consider myself, I don't consider myself a risky person. So for me, it's better to have something guaranteed, like probably a cheaper hotel room rather than an apartment which is not confirmed officially, you know, somewhere. So it's an implicit work ahead. I mean, before you rent an apartment in another country, you have to check everything for sure, to be sure that it's confirmed room that you can use, or property or whatever you can use. Definitely. So it's quite difficult. There is no any guarantees for that.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. My parents just recently visited and they wanted to stay because my flat's not big enough for them to stay. And I finally decided to use this Airbnb app, which I'd never used before. And we found an apartment for them and it said, oh, you know, it was perfect. And I went and I confirmed to book and it automatically charged my account. And then I tried to contact the host and there's silence, nothing at all. And I phoned the guy and I finally get through and he says, oh yes, well, I'm sorry, it was already booked. It's not available. You can cancel. I'm like, but wait, if I cancel, I'm going to be charged 100%. Mm-hmm. And it was a huge sort of conversation on the phone with Airbnb in New York, and they're trying to contact the host. And it was my first experience and not exactly the best experience, I have to say. So I'm not quite sure if I guess you're right, you know, definitely check all the reviews, although the reviews seemed okay. So you never really know. I guess, like you said, you just have to check, always check, and, you know, say something immediately if there's a problem.
So as for Airbnb, it works like a hotel, right? It has the same policy. So you have to pay for your room in advance, right?
No, I mean, I think they're different options. Hosts can have different options. They can say you can request a booking or you can automatically book. So it's up to the host to fulfill, you know, those obligations depending on how the host chooses to list his apartment or his room.
I've never heard before about this company. It was something new for me. But this man who created all that, who launched this company, he really gave me a buzz. It was a really funny story.
I thought it was
but
too, yes.
what can I tell? I never had this problem, but always when I want to rent out something with Airbnb, before book it, I first write to the host. Owner, to the owner of the flat, and ask him or her if it's available, what is in. So I'm asking some questions, and just after this, I'm rented out. But for me, the last thing was not very good with Airbnb. That they charge money for the conversion of money.
Conversion, yeah, this
conversion, and you know, all this story, all this stuff. I hate that they write this. They wrote this with very small, you know, letters.
Oh,
and
fine print, the fine print. That's what you call in English. Little
Fine
letters you can never read. Yeah, fine print.
Yeah. And it's okay then you rent out something for 2 days, but it's not okay then you rent it out something for 2 months, because it's 10% already become a huge money. So, and really I was furious, because your bank takes money, so we put money in dollars, especially not to pay for a convert, but anyway they convert money, and it was crazy story. And also we tried to call in Airbnb and all this stuff, and it's crazy. So I was a bit disappointed last time, but before, I don't know, for 5 years or 6 years, we didn't have any problems with Airbnb.
Yeah, well, like I said before, everything changes, right? Everything evolves. Everything eventually becomes for money. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how it will all change. But it's interesting that you had such good experience in the past, Tanya, and now this last one wasn't so good. Maybe it's a sign of the times and how everything is evolving into this new money-making scheme. What about you, Lyoka? What about you? What do you think about internet and availability and safety? What are your feelings on that all?
Well, I check safety always by reviews of other people. For example, I find couch surfing rather safe service. So, because you can judge the person that sent you a request, or the person you want to send the request to stay at his house. You can judge it by just reviews, feedbacks that he has on his profile, and they are really can be helpful. And I always read reviews everywhere about the owner, about the person who provides the service, of course. And I think that's the way we can protect us from bad things. And regarding internet, I think that this sharing economy won't be able without internet and smartphones and all this technology. Really, it won't be able. It won't be able to take such huge scale. Can I say so?
A huge what?
Scale, like masштаб.
Yeah. On this scale. Yeah, on this huge scale. Yeah. All right.
So,
Yeah. All right. Who do you think benefits more in a sharing situation? Is it the person that's making something available, the person that's using it, or both? Let's go maybe Tanya, Lyoka, Yana.
I think the ideal situation if both sides like have some get some benefits, because we are talking about sharing. Yeah, because if we are not talking about sharing, it's about just earning money, I think. And for example, if return to Airbnb, yes, who invented Airbnb? Yes, I think that now they earn money, yes, but for people who can rent out